Now we are moving on to verse 9. And should I ask? Who knows? Do you all do something in that house over there? What do? You ask each other?
We sing together.
You sing the verses?
We sing the verses and study together, learn together.
Together?
Together.
How many times?
Many, like 1 hour, several times a day. After breakfast, lunch, and...
An hour each time?
Not each time.
Oh.
First time when we learn it 1 hour.
Very good. See? That's what you do. 20 minutes, sing all together. Okay, now we're on verse 9. And we're singing responsively. Marishana tattve vraja vipina chandra vrajavane.
Marishana tattve vraja vipina chandra vrajavane.
Svarim tanna tattve taratula sakitve tulalitam.
Svarim tanna tattve taratula sakitve tulalitam.
Vishakam shikṣāli vitarana gurutve priyasaro.
Vishakam shikṣāli vitarana gurutve priyasaro.
Girindro tat preksha lalitarati datve smaramana.
Girindro tat preksha lalitarati datve smaramana.
Mind, meditate on the moon of Vraja forest as the lord of my queen. The queen of Vraja forest as his mistress, Lalita as their peerless friend, Vishaka as the guru who teaches them many things, and Radhakund and Govardhana Hill as two places, the mere sight of which gives charming, transcendental love. And translations also, you know? Word for word. That's important. That's most important. Very good. We used to do that. We used to have śloka class. I mentioned before we used to do Mangalartik. After Mangalartik, we did japa. After japa, we did śloka class, which means the śloka of the day. Every day, different śloka, and we would recite. And śloka class was, of course, Bhagavatam class. Bhagavatam class came say you had breakfast and Sankirtan, come back in the evening, Gaura Arati, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, and while devotees were eating breakfast in the evening and reading Krishna book. That was the daily sadhana. Daily program, morning and evening. Spent a lot of time studying together. The boys didn't have too much time for studying on their own, maybe on their day off, but day off was Sunday when we had Sunday feast. Everyone had to work for the Sunday feast, of course. That was the day off. So, now he says, and now we are only continuing on those activities which describe actually if you want to engage me in Śrī Rādha's service, this is the previous verse, and worship Lord Giridhari here in Vraj. So really what is the process for, because every time we're saying mind just worship, mind just with great love and devotion. So now here saying, all right, now what is it that you're meditating on? So the moon of Vraja forest as the Lord of my life. So who's the moon of Vraja? That's Vraja Chandra. So who is that? Or here it is described as Vraja Vipina Chandra, the moon of Vṛndavan forest. So of course that's Kṛṣṇa. Meditate on the moon of Vraja forest as the Lord of my Queen. Okay, but in these names, there is so much within the name. So Shakespeare says, what's in a name? Well, there's a lot in the names. In Kṛṣṇa's name, just meditating on the sound of Kṛṣṇa's name, we're doing this every day, just 3 names, we're meditating, and they have so much significance. So moon really means full moon. In spiritual world, general understanding is that it's always a full moon. So with our mind, we should meditate on the moon of Vraja forest. So if the moon is shining over Vṛndavan forest and it's a full moon, then it becomes very silvery. Everything becomes silvery. It's like it's painted silver. You know, they have different types of moons. They got I can't remember all the rabbit moon and this moon and that moon and a blood moon even. So 4 different full moons, and then they have special moons that become very, very, moon comes just a little closer. So meditate on the moon of Vraj forest that illuminates the forest. Why is Kṛṣṇa called the moon over Vṛndavan? Because Kṛṣṇa also just illuminates Vṛndavan forest. What does he illuminate it with? Well, he does illuminate it with his splendor, with his bodily effulgence, and that moonshine is actually indirectly Kṛṣṇa's bodily effulgence, just like the sunshine, just Kṛṣṇa's bodily effulgence. But more Kṛṣṇa's illuminating Vṛndavan forest. Well, yesterday we were talking about sweetness, and yes, there is specific reference in that regard, but with rasa, with prema, so that everything in Vṛndavan is saturated by this specific time of mellow. What kind of mellow? This is the mellow, we had reference yesterday, this is the mellow of conjugal love. So he will engage me in Radha's service. So although Vṛndavan first serves the cowherd boys in playing and Nanda Maharaj in grazing his cows, and the cows in getting nice grasses and so on, but its primary function is actually in terms of serving Radha and Kṛṣṇa, which means that if you serve that divine couple, then your mood has to be commensurate with them. So in that sense, to a certain degree, that conjugal ras, that madhu-ras, is actually there within all these others, cowherd boy, parent, servant, cow, and so on. It manifests in terms of this extraordinary madhura, extraordinary sweetness, and that's how it's tasted. For instance, when Śrīmati Radharani comes every day to serve in Nandagram, so she cooks. And when she cooks, in the same way that Kṛṣṇa infuses this ras within Vṛndavana forest, in the same way she infuses that ras and her prema into the foods that she's cooking with Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa tastes that cooking, he's tasting 100% that madhu-rasa that Radharani is infused into the cooking. And so he starts to perspire, he gets very hot. In other words, he comes under the influence of that mellow. When Mother Mango tastes it, he tastes it because as something very, very tasty. He doesn't taste it the same way that Kṛṣṇa tastes it. When the cowherd's boys taste it, they also taste it in a very similar way as Madhu Mango. And when Nando, Baba and his brothers, when they're also tasting, then their parental ras is enhanced, but they also taste this very, very special, unique sweetness, unique taste, and that. So everyone, jejatavam prapadyanti, everyone according to their own mood, they will taste that same one thing, but only Kṛṣṇa will taste it as it is. So he's saturating Vṛndavana forest with his love as the Lord of my Queen. Madhu-sneha. Isha means Kṛṣṇa, and Isha means Rādhā, Queen, King and Queen. So, interestingly, Raghunath Das Goswami now says, my Queen. Okay, so here, Kṛṣṇa is the Lord of my Queen. So, technically speaking, yes, Kṛṣṇa is the Lord from the point of view of tattva and so on, because Lord means someone who lords over, who governs, who directs in a very, of course, in a very personal and in a very nice way. But we know that actually, generally speaking, it's Śrīmati Radharani who is controlling Kṛṣṇa, not Kṛṣṇa controlling Radha. So this is an aspect of the distinction between tattva and rasa, and how we preach and how we meditate. When we preach, Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's being served, Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambrahma Sevyamanam. He's being served by lakhs and lakhs of Lakshmis, who, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur calls them super Lakshmis, the gopis. So he's being served by them, and the chief servant is Śrīmati Radharani. Everybody serves Kṛṣṇa. Ekala Ishvara Kṛṣṇa Varasha. Kṛṣṇa is the one Ishvara, and everyone else is the master. When taken from the point of view of rasa, in terms of what is the nature of the interaction, then we know that Kṛṣṇa becomes subordinate to love. And the love of Kṛṣṇa's devotees controls Kṛṣṇa. That's not something that we talk to non-devotees, even young devotees. But it's something that devotees should understand and recognize, Because it's there in Nectar of Devotion, it's there in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that love controls Krishna. This is one of the two qualities, one of the 6 qualities of prema bhakti, is that it brings Krishna under the devotee's control. Now what to speak of, and to what degree? Jejatavam prapadyanti. To the degree that one has love, to that degree one controls Krishna. And the only person who fully controls Krishna is Srimati Radharani. So the Vraja fort is the Lord of my Queen. And he says Madhisha. So there are 2 different types of sort of affection, sneha, madhu-sneha, gṛta-sneha. Madhu-sneha means like love, like honey, and gṛta-sneha means love like ghee. So one of the aspects of this madhu-sneha is very possessive. Krishna is mine. Madhisha, or Srimati Radharani is mine, is my queen. And the other one is, I am Krishna's, or I am Srimati Radharani's. That second one is weaker. It is a somewhat weaker form of love. Weaker in a very, very extraordinary comparison, because here we're talking about the topmost perfections. But still, and because that mood that I belong to Krishna, it's weaker, therefore it does not fully control Krishna. The type of love which can't be, you can't copy it, you can't imitate it. It's something that develops as a devotee advances on the path of devotional service. So Maya, my Radharani. Saying that in Vṛndavana, neighbor Balaram Baba, he always says my Radharani. So devotees think like that. Yes, she is mine, and I am hers, but she is mine. So meditate. Now we meditate on Krishna in this way. He's illuminating the forest and how his real connection with Śrī Rādhā, who actually belongs to her. Now here, maidservants. He will engage me in Radha's service. So now here is someone who is serving Srimati Radharani, and she says, my queen. So Krishna illuminates Vṛndavan forest with love, with rasa, and he is the Lord of the Manjari's queens. Queen. Okay. Now, and that Queen of Vraja forest is his mistress. Does she belong to him? Oh yes, Bhagavad Goswami says that. But actually he also belongs to her, as we just explained. So the Queen of Vraja forest as his mistress. And she is the queen of the forest. He is the king, and he is the queen. That means that although actually, he's the moon, and he's the queen of Vraja forest. What does it mean that he's the queen of Vraja forest? One spring, when Krishna wanted to glorify Srimati Radharani, so he manifest or had manifest a voice in the sky all over Vṛndavan. And that voice in the sky said that Radha is a form of Goddess Lakshmi. By worshipping her and enthroning her as the Queen of Vṛndavan, Vṛndavaneshwari, by enthroning her as the Queen of Vṛndavan, then all prosperity, good health, wealth, many, many cows will follow the Brajvasis wherever they may live within this domain. So this is described by Jiva Goswami in a book. Goswami told him, you should write this book, madhu-sneha. And in that book then, he describes in great detail the coronation of Srimati Radharani, who is then formally established as the Queen of Vṛndavan. And because she's the Queen, then she then charges everybody, all her subjects, all the Brajvasis, with different types of services. And at the end, when the festival is all over, then only Krishna's left. Now Krishna comes and he bows down and he says, I haven't been allotted any service. So Srimati Radharani asks Lalita, look at the service list. Is there anything left? And Lalita looks and says, everything's covered. There's nothing for him to do. You can go, come back another day, we'll figure out something for you. But Krishna is very insistent. No, you can't on this day, on this auspicious day, you can't send me away without some service. Anyway, Krishna has something in his mind. So before they say anything, he says, I know what I'll do. I'll go all throughout Vṛndavan and I will chant out loud that Śrī Rādhā is Vṛndavaneshwari, and I will sing your glories in every village and every town in Vṛndavan. Viti viti achi yatra nagar adigram. This is where it comes from. So he says, I'm going to go and I'm going to glorify Radha is the Queen of Vṛndavan. So that's how she then became the Vṛndavaneshwari. And we'll continue tomorrow. Lalita is their peerless friend. Vishaka is the guru who teaches them many things. Radhakund and Govardhana Hill as two places, the mere sight of which charming transcendental love. So meditate on these things. How do I meditate on Govardhana Hill? You meditate on doing parikrama of Govardhana Hill. Meditate while chanting Hare Krishna. Whenever someone takes a shower, then you should think, now I'm going to dip into Radhakund. And one bathes in Radhakund like that. Or one will go to one of the places of Govardhana Hill and remember the pastime that takes place over there. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai, Jai Śrī Rādhā Damodar ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Guru Maharaj ki jai.